views and opinions expressed here are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. This podcast may contain adult language. Audience members' discretion is advised. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dottie here, bringing you guys another episode of Political Vibes. Happy Monday to everybody. Thank you for continuing to listen to my podcast. Again, I want to make that be known every time I record one of these. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. And quick reminder, if you guys want to follow me on social media, I follow back. But yeah, if you guys want to follow me on social media, on Twitter, that's Dottie D92. So that's at DAHDEE and the number 9 and the number 2. So yeah, or you guys can follow me on Facebook by my actual real name, Dodrick, DODRICK, last name King, KING. So that's how to follow me on Facebook. So yeah, guys, hit me up on there, and like I said, I do follow back on Twitter. I'm usually more on Twitter than I am on Facebook, just because Twitter just gives me, just gives me a better feel of what's going on in the news cycle. So yeah, that's pretty much why I'm on Twitter more so than I'm on Facebook. So now that we got that out the way, guys, I wanted to just talk about the whole primary race up until now. My state went to vote last Tuesday, so I went to go vote last Tuesday. I live in Alabama, and I went that morning, and I think it was at a local church around here that we went to, and everybody was nice, and they had refreshments and stuff like that. It was a pretty easy process. So yeah, I went, and I knew other people that were going, or they posted it on social media as I did. So yeah, it was refreshing to go and make your voice heard, going and go vote. If you guys didn't know or not, Sanders got destroyed down here in Alabama by Biden. I think Biden ended up getting like 60% of the vote, and second place was Bernie Sanders, but I think he got about 16 to 17% down here in Alabama. So I kind of wish more people would have came out and vote. Preferably more young people, because by the demographics, you can kind of tell that it was more older folks that came out and voted, or at least in my state it was. But in the in the bigger kind of picture of things, Biden had a big night on Super Tuesday. He had a big night. I really was expecting for Bernie to come out on top on Super Tuesday. Um, I thought that he was going to win Texas. He didn't. He didn't win Texas. Um, I thought that he was going to win Massachusetts. He didn't win Massachusetts. Biden won Massachusetts. Biden won Texas. Uh, Biden won in Virginia pretty big. Um, I mean, Biden pretty much won all the southern states that voted on Super Tuesday. And Bernie, he didn't go home empty-handed. Uh, he won California, which is a really big win that he needed to have if he wanted to stay in the race. And he won his home state, Vermont. Um, he won Utah. He won Colorado. So he won some states, but as far as I can see it now, Biden is currently in the lead. I think he has more delegates. He has more delegates right now. He has more delegates than Bernie Sanders. I don't think Bernie Sanders is too far behind him, but uh, we have another. We have more states that's voting in primaries tomorrow. I guess if you could call it like a mini Tuesday, it's not a Super Tuesday because this go around is going to be like 6 states that's going to be voting tomorrow. So I think those states are Idaho. I think one's not South Carolina, South Dakota, Washington. You got Missouri. That's one. I think it's New York, and I can't think of the other one. But I know it's 6 states that are they're voting. Mississippi. That's the 6th one. So Idaho, South Dakota, Mississippi, Washington, Missouri, and Michigan. So those are the 6 states that are voting tomorrow. And yeah, Bernie needs to win Michigan. Michigan's a pretty big state. It has a lot of delegates there. So Bernie kind of needs to win, come out on Michigan. He needs to win Washington also. I think he has a good shot at winning those states. I don't think he's going to win in Mississippi. I don't think he's going to win in Missouri. I think Biden is going to win in Missouri and Mississippi. But Bernie just doesn't need to get swept in Mississippi and in Missouri like he did in Alabama. He has to get a nice amount of delegates in these states that he's potentially going to lose in, like Mississippi and Missouri. He needs to win the states that he thinks that he needs to win, which is Michigan and Washington, and I think he maybe has a chance winning Idaho. I'm not sure. I want to say Idaho's kind of conservative, so I just feel like that they would vote for the majority would vote for Biden. But then again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Bernie does win Idaho. It'd be nice if he wins all 6 states, but I just, just talking realistically, I don't think that he's going to win all 6 states, especially, the southern states. That's just my honest opinion on it. Um, so I want to talk about, what happened leading up to Super Tuesday last week and what happened after. We're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be back after these messages, guys. Stay tuned. Hey guys, what's going on? We're back here on Political Vibes. So, I wanted to pick up where I left off at. I was talking about the primaries, Super Tuesday last week, and how it really didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. But that doesn't mean that Bernie's out of this. We have to pick up some of these states tomorrow on Mini Tuesday. But the reason why I think Bernie's not winning right now is because every other candidate dropped out pretty much the same time before Super Tuesday. You had Amy Klobuchar, you had Pete Buttigieg. They dropped out right before Super Tuesday. I think it was a part of the establishment plan to have this happen. I think that this was coordinated in a way. And I just think it was just political strategy that they needed to drop out if they were going to have a shot at trying to dethrone Bernie from the front runner. And I mean, for the most part, it worked. Amy Klobuchar and Pete Buttigieg, again, they were presidential candidates. They were running for president in the Democratic Party. And, they dropped out and they endorsed Biden. They all endorsed him. They both flew down to Texas. They had a rally. They were at his rally. They endorsed him at his rally. And so this was the day before Super Tuesday. This was that Monday, if I'm not mistaken. And, when two major figures like that drop out, they have a support system. They have a base. And so I feel like naturally they're moderate candidates and their voters are going to migrate more so to Biden than they would to Sanders, being in my opinion, the only progressive candidate left running for president in the Democratic Party. I just think that it was a coordinated effort to give Biden the endorsement because he needed help. And their endorsement would change a lot of voters, thinking about who to vote for on Super Tuesday. And I just think it's no coincidence that they dropped out a day before Super Tuesday, because those days leading up to Super Tuesday, Bernie had massive leads in all these states because the voter turnout was spread around. I mean, you had a section that voted for Amy Klobuchar. You had a section that voted for Pete Buttigieg. You had a section that voted for Biden. You had a section that voted for Warren. You had a section that voted for Bernie. And so everybody pretty much shared the wealth. But you seen one candidate that, you know, candidate's base, which was Bernie's base, that remained high. And so I just felt like it was just a calculated plan on, Klobuchar, Buttigieg to drop out a day before to help Biden. And, he needed to win Texas, and he won Texas. Um, he didn't win it by much, but I think he won Texas. I think he won 34% to Bernie's 30%, so it was really really close. But I feel like those late endorsements happen for a reason, and it's just no coincidence that you know you, it just didn't seem that Buttigieg or Klobuchar was you know had the impression of just dropping out. It seemed like they were going to try to make it at least through you know this week, honestly. But I think they did that because the establishment told them to drop out to help Biden. I felt like they was just like, look, Biden has the best shot to, not get Bernie in there, and so we're gonna need you guys to drop out because you're kind of hogging all of the votes, and so we need to, minimize this down to just one moderate candidate instead of having, 3, 4 moderate candidates running at one time. We need to get you guys out of there and endorsing Biden. And so that's what they did. And I think yesterday, Kamala Harris, I think, she was a person who was running for president also. She's the senator out of California, and she endorsed Biden yesterday. She made a video saying, she was endorsing Biden, and if it's one person, who the people can believe and can trust, and who's going to reunite the country and things like that, it's going to be Biden. But honestly, guys, if you guys go online and look this up, look at her video, the whole time she was endorsing Biden, it just looked like she lacked enthusiasm. It just doesn't look like it was coming really, really from the heart. Because if you guys remember, when she was still running for president, in these debates, she was going at Biden. And I know that that's political strategy, but it's just, she was for she was for healthcare for all. She was for some of these progressive policies, and when she just wasn't the candidate to be, it just looked like she caved to the establishment pressure and endorsed Biden too. And so I don't know what happened to Kamala. She was doing well there for a minute, and then she just totally just got away from the progressive message. And I think that's what hurt Warren as well. She got away from the progressive message. That's why she stopped being front runner. Kamala Harris at one point was front runner until she started moving away from the progressive message. Elizabeth Warren was a front runner until she started moving away from the progressive message. Now Elizabeth Warren dropped out, so Kamala Harris, Elizabeth Warren, these two women were, and they still are strong women, but they were front runners for a reason, because they had progressive messages. They took it to the system, and it just seems like the system bought them, and now they're just falling in line and everybody's endorsing the establishment candidate Biden because they don't want the status quo changed. Let's just be real. They don't want the status quo changed. They rather have Biden in there to go against Trump and lose to Trump and have Trump for another 4 more years because Trump, they don't like what he says and they don't like how he calls the news media fake and things like that and just some of his behavioral ways. And I mean, they don't like the fact that he's broken the law. I mean, I hope they don't like the fact that he's broken the law, but I mean, it kind of doesn't matter because, if he's broken the law and hasn't paid any kind of price for it, I mean, it's kind of giving air to letting him do pretty much what he wants to do. And yeah, he got impeached, but Donald Trump is that person. He doesn't care if he's impeached or not. Like that's going to be on his record, since he was president, that, he was one of the few presidents that have gotten impeached. But like the thing about Trump, he doesn't care as long as he's president still. See, he hasn't been removed from office. So it's another thing to impeach. It's another thing to impeach and remove you from office. And he beat the system. He beat the system, plain and simple. But the establishment, they just don't really care, it seems, about how far in the gutter this guy will go as long as he doesn't mess with the status quo. And see, that's the thing. They would rather have Biden there because Biden's he's a little bit more nice and he's a little bit more he's willing to bring the country and heal the country and things like that. But when it comes to the status quo, he's not going to change anything. That's why, tell me one thing that this guy has proposed policy-wise that's going to progress and benefit the country. Nothing at all. I mean, it's word for word. You can hear Biden at his rallies. You heard him on the debate stage. He says that we're going to go back to the way things were when Trump wasn't in office. Before Trump, we're going to go back to how the things were when Trump wasn't in office. And that just goes to show you he has no progressive qualities. He has no progressive policies. And you can just tell he's just going to go back, like he says, to how things were before Trump. And, it's sad that, I have to say this, and I mean this in no disrespect, but Joe Biden, in my opinion, is showing early signs of dementia. He doesn't even be at his rallies for a long period of time. I think his last rally that he had in Missouri, he was in Missouri at a rally, campaigning down there, and he was only there for 7 minutes. And I mean, this stuff is recorded. This stuff is on video, guys. So you can just look up Joe Biden gaffes at Missouri rally. I'm pretty sure that'll come up. And you can see that he just has these gaffes to where he doesn't complete full sentences. And he just forgets what he's saying, and it's just shark bait for Trump. It is. I just feel like Biden will get destroyed on the stage with Trump. And Trump maybe doesn't say anything that holds weight, but what Trump is really, really good at, he's good at consistently sticking with his message. He's good at feeling the crowd out, and he's good at talking. And so you got to give the man credit where credit's due. He's really, really good at giving the crowd a show. And he doesn't mind hitting and hitting hard. And, Biden has stuff on his record, just like Trump has on his record. So Biden's going to try to, if Biden wins, Biden's going to try to, go after some of the stuff that Trump has done or go after his record. And it's stuff that Trump is going to throw at Biden like, hey, you done did this, you done did that. How are you telling me that I need to do this and check myself, and you got the same kind of bumps or blemishes on your record that I do? So, it's kind of hard to get on somebody for doing something and you're pretty much doing the same thing or close to it. And, he's just going to use that against him. I don't think he'll be able to use it against Bernie because Bernie has been consistent with his message, over 40 years while he's been in Congress. And that's why I think that Trump will have a more difficult time doing something like that to Bernie than he would be to Biden. That's just my honest opinion on it, guys. So we're gonna take another short break. When we come back, I'm going to just talk about some of the things that I don't think people really, especially older people, I don't think that they, not saying that they don't understand, but I think they're voting based on based on their gut feeling and not going with what they actually believe in their heart. And so I'm going to break down why I think Bernie is the best candidate versus Trump than Biden would be. So guys, stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, what's up? We're back here on Political Vibes. Yeah, so I really wanted to just hammer home why I think that Bernie is the best candidate to beat Trump more so than Biden. And again, I just want to just say I don't have anything personal against Biden. I actually like Joe Biden. I just don't think that he would be the best choice to run against Trump, and I don't think he would be the best choice to move the country forward. And that's just my opinion, and that's because it just seems like he's not as sharp as he once was. It just seems like he has maybe early stages of dementia. I think that he hasn't really told anyone, told his voters, told other people who may not be voting for him what is his specific policies. I just think that his only message is, and again, this is what he's been saying, pretty much the only thing he's been saying is, we're going to go back to how things were. We're before Trump, and he'll say he has said, because the people don't want a revolution, they want to go back to how things were. And I just think that that's such a outdated message to give people. I think Bernie's message is way more inspiring. I think it holds way more weight. every time Bernie goes on television, on the news, or at his rallies, he always gives a detailed um, speech on his policies, on what he's going to do for the American people, how he's going to give the people, uh, give the people power back, um, and how he's going to bring democracy back, or how the country needs to be ran uh, as a democracy. And so that's just things like that just speaks to me more than Joe Biden's message. Um, you know, he Joe Biden always says, like, he has a lot of black support, and he always refers to when him and Obama did this and stuff like that. Like, yeah, like, we understand that you were vice president to the first black president. Like, that's cool. That's cool. But is that going to be your only message? Is that the only thing that you're going to be offering to people? You know what I mean? It just, to me, it's not strong enough. It's not progressive enough. And Bernie has talked to Obama. He's friends with Obama. Maybe not closest friends as Obama is to Biden, but he's friends with Obama. He's friends with Biden. Bernie's said it all the time. He goes on television and say, like, me and Biden has a friendship, and whoever wins the nominee, we're going to support each other, whether he loses or whether he wins. And so apparently they know each other. They've been in Congress a long ass time. So it's just, when it comes to really, really nailing home what people, everyday average people, go through on a daily basis, and your message resonates with them, the majority of them, that speaks volumes to me. It just speaks volumes that Bernie, he wanted to build on Social Security, where Biden wanted to cut Social Security. Like, I got a grandmother, I got my mom, I got my dad. They're getting older, and not just my family, but other people's family too. You would think that the older generation or the older population would be in favor of Social Security, because it does help older people out that are retired or veterans. It's just the candidate that pushes for, change in the better, I don't really understand why people are drawn to Joe Biden like they are. I really, really wish that before Mini Tuesday tomorrow, I wish that we had a debate, a one-on-one debate with Bernie and with Biden, because I really, really feel like the longer Biden has to talk, the more it's going to be revealing on how he's not capable of beating Trump, let alone being capable of running the country. And it's going to be just two people. It's not going to be 7, 8 people, candidates up there talking over each other. It's going to be one-on-one. And more they're going to have more time to talk about the stuff that's the things that need to be talked about. You know, unfortunately, I feel like the establishment kind of knew that this was going to come, so they're going to wait until this Sunday to do the debate. Now, by that time, it might be too late. Hopefully, it won't be. Hopefully, tomorrow goes the way I hope it's going to go. But if it doesn't, it's going to almost be too late for Bernie to make a comeback after tomorrow. And again, the debate's going to be this Sunday coming up. So you're going to have 5 days after Mini Tuesday to make your case on why I'm the better candidate. So this thing's kind of set up against Bernie. This is just me being real about it. I don't think that they want Bernie to win, to become the nominee, because they just know if he wins, he's going to change the status quo, and I don't think that they want that. I forgot about Mike Bloomberg too. I mean, Mike Bloomberg, for example, he's the billionaire that I was talking about in my previous podcast episodes. Guys, check that out if you haven't checked it out. But yeah, he ended up dropping out the day after Super Tuesday, and he's financially contributing to Joe Biden's campaign now. He said this. So I just think it's just no coincidence that Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Kamala Harris, Mike Bloomberg, Beto O'Rourke, just a few people. All these people have endorsed Biden, and it's pretty much been all at the same time. And so it's so overwhelming. It's so unprecedented, that this kind of stuff has happened before, because it hasn't. Not in any kind of primary that I can remember. But I just wish it just showed people that, man, like, all these people are endorsing Bernie at the same time. Not Bernie, but endorsing Biden at the same time. And doesn't that seem kind of suspicious? Doesn't that seem kind of shady? That this stuff is happening all at the same time. Now, what would help, and I don't know if it's going to happen. If it doesn't happen today, I don't think it's going to happen. And Elizabeth Warren endorsement to Bernie would be greatly helpful. It could possibly put Bernie over the top on Biden and win a nomination. But I don't know what's going to go on. I don't know. Warren has totally flipped the script in a way. I like Warren. It was her and Bernie for a long time. They were the progressives. I mean, the media was even talking about, Bernie and Warren, the two progressives, are going to go up against the moderates at the debates and things like that. Like, she had really, really strong stances on bankers, on the establishment, and I don't know what happened. She just ended up kind of backtracking on, her stances, and it cost her from being the front runner to, coming in third, fourth, sometimes fifth in some of these states that are having primaries. And so I think that hurt her changing her progressive stance. Um, and she ended up taking corporate PAC money, um, at the end of her campaign to stay in the race, and it didn't help either. So she ended up going against her promises. Her and Bernie were the only two candidates that weren't taking um, corporate money or PAC or super PAC money from billionaires and things like that. But she ended up doing it. So I don't really know what's going on with Elizabeth. I don't know if she's actually in the establishment too. It's not looking good that she did these things. Maybe I could be wrong though. Maybe she will endorse Bernie, but I don't know. I'm not going to hold my breath on it. It's just sad that she has a bunch of her ideals match up with Bernie than Biden. So it's going to be really, really telling to see who she endorses. If she endorses Biden, then it's going to be weird that you've been fighting for all these things, all your life while you've been in Congress, and you have the shot at actually making this dream a reality, and you kind of back away from it because some of Bernie's supporters online have been mean to you. Like, like Bernie can control people online. Like if Bernie, what would be more important to me is Bernie coming out to you and telling you, hey, look, like, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm coming to you, mano y mano. We're friends. We're really close. Like your family knows my family. I'm coming to you and telling you that I don't mean this, or I'm sorry that this has happened. That that's not how I feel about it, and it should be done. You should be able to move on. You can't control everybody's personality. You can't control everybody's mood. You just can't control the internet. People are going to be trolls. And, this is politics. This is tough. If you're not going to be able to take people out of a campaign, not even people in the campaign, but some of his supporters online, if you can't take shots from that, how are you going to be able to take shots at or withstand shots from Donald Trump or, or the establishment or the corporate elite? Things like that. So I hope she endorses Bernie. I hope that we don't need her endorsement, but again, it would help. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much where we're at now. I'm going to try to make a podcast tomorrow for Mini Tuesday. The post results on the 6 states that's going to be voting. I would probably say that if I don't make one tomorrow, I'm going to try to make one Wednesday. So yeah, guys, stay tuned for that. Hopefully Bernie gets to take some of these states tomorrow because Lord knows he needs it. And hopefully it goes a little bit better than it went last week. But again, we still have a fighting chance. This thing's not over. Anything can happen. And so we're just going to be hopeful that Bernie sees this thing through. I'm Dottie, guys. Thank you guys for listening. This has been another episode of Political Vibes. And I'll talk to you guys really, really soon. All right, peace out.